Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the most up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're going to get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are mixed this morning, with S&P futures up 0.02%, Dow futures down 0.1%, and NASDAQ futures up 0.3%. Stocks have posted modest gains this morning as investors look toward the key Fed meeting later this week, but the rally in the bonds market has lost steam. Investors will be on the lookout for signals from the Fed about a timetable for scaling back emergency monetary stimulus, with anticipation that the central bank will reaffirm the pace of bond purchases this week, even if it delivers projections from interest rate lift off in 2023. An advance in European equities was led by shares in energy firms. The Treasury 10-year yield rose to 1.46% after hitting three-month lows just last Thursday amid the biggest weekly slide since December. French and German bonds have also turned it around, with yields running higher. In terms of currency, the dollar was steady in the wake of a Group of Seven leadership meeting that emphasized unity. Elsewhere in markets, oil has extended a run of 3 weekly gains on optimism that economic reopenings will give a boost to summer demand in the U.S. and Europe. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
You know, Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all morning long, and, they're positive, but just slightly. I don't know if they're going to be, I really don't think they're going to be able to hold these gains today. Let's just look at the facts. Today there are no economic numbers coming out. Tomorrow we got the retail sales numbers that are coming out. They're expected to be weak. And then we have, of course, the Fed meeting on Tuesday with an announcement scheduled for Wednesday. These are the real key economic events that are really going to cause the market to have some disruption. I look overnight in Asia to see how the Asian trading was, and it was really muted. That's the best way I can describe it. The volumes were so light because there was a holiday. The holiday caused, Hong Kong to be closed. China was closed, as well as, Australia and Taiwan, I believe markets were also closed. You look at the oil. Oil is on fire right now. It continues to rally. Demand is there. OPEC continues to increase the supply. So, you're going to see oil prices continue to move higher in the short term. The media is talking about $100 barrel oil. I don't believe it. I don't see that that's possible. But those are the sort of things that are driving oil to be pushing higher. You got a number of key earnings reports out this week: Oracle, Lanier, the home builder, Kroger, and Adobe. But for today, we're seeing slightly positive movement in the pre-market. I don't think these numbers are going to be able to sustain higher towards the opening and throughout the day.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about earnings to watch. Bill, tell us a little bit more about what we're seeing for earnings to watch today.
Well, I mean, there's no real good earnings coming out today. This is a very quiet week. We're in that period where there's not a whole lot of earnings. But later this week, we have Oracle reporting. They're reporting Tuesday after the close. Their estimates are for $1.31. The expected price move is 4.91%. H&R Block, they're releasing Tuesday after the close as well. Their EPS is $5.13, and they're expected to move $6.12. Lazy Boy, ticker LZB, Larry Zebra Bill, they're releasing Tuesday after the close. Their EPS estimate is 74 cents, and you're looking for about a 6% move there when they release. The thing about H&R Block when they release is that they already provided what's considered to be a downbeat revenue guidance. The company said that it's expecting adjusted earnings per share for fiscal 2021, which ended in April, to be $3.36 to $3.39, which is above the consensus estimate. However, revenue is expected to rise to 3.4 billion to 3.42 billion, which is up from a year ago, but it's still shy of the consensus of 3.48 billion. So I wouldn't be surprised if H&R Block beats on revenue, but is weak on forward guidance when they release Tuesday after the close.
Moving into economic reports, I know we don't got a lot going on today, Bill, but why don't you tell us what we're expecting this week?
Well, as I said, it's an uneventful day in terms of the economic front, but tomorrow's retail sales figures are likely to be weak because of auto sales. Auto sales have really fallen off. But the major economic event of this week is the FOMC meeting. It starts Tuesday, and the policy statement is Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Boxed, an e-commerce grocery shopping company that's set to become a U.S. publicly traded company through a merger with Seven Oaks SPAC, a ticker SVOK, with a combined value of $900 million. Seven Oaks share price is up 0.86% in pre-market. Some news on Moderna, ticker mRNA. The company has submitted an authorization application to Swissmedic for use of its COVID-19 vaccine in adolescents. Moderna's share price is down 1.99% in pre-market. News on KKR, ticker KKR. So Burning Glass, the largest investor, which is KKR, has made a follow-on investment in MZ to combine the companies as MZ Burning Glass. In other news, Centene, ticker CNC, has reached a no-fault agreement with Ohio and Mississippi attorney generals to resolve claims made by the states related to services provided by its subsidiary pharmacy. In other news, Cano Health, ticker CANO, a value-based primary care provider for seniors in underserved communities, has acquired University Healthcare and its affiliates for $600 million. Cano share price is up 15.31% in pre-market. News on Novavax, ticker NVAX. The company said its COVID-19 vaccine candidate met primary endpoints in a late-stage study. The vaccine showed an efficacy rate of 90.4% among high-risk populations. Novavax share price is up 11.87% in pre-market. In other news, Richard Branson is in advanced talks about a merger to take Virgin Orbit, his satellite launch company, public on the U.S. public markets. Virgin Orbit is close to finalizing a deal to combine with the SPAC Next Gen Acquisitions, ticker NGCA. A deal is valuing Orbit at about $3 billion and could be announced in the upcoming weeks. News on Royal Dutch Shell. The company is exploring the sale of its holding in the largest U.S. oil field, a move that could raise as much as $10 billion for the Anglo-Dutch oil major. The sale could be for a portion or could be for the entirety of Shell's position in the U.S. Permian Basin, which covers 260,000 acres. News on Honeywell, ticker HON. Honeywell is partnering with Defense Research Development Organization, CSIR-IIP, to ramp up oxygen production in India to address the ongoing pandemic. So this is for medical use oxygen. Honeywell's share price is down 0.08% in pre-market. In other news, Ares Management, ticker ARES, and Maven Capital Partners are joining forces with Hambleton Capital to back the launch of Titan Wealth Holdings, an acquisitive new business in the UK wealth and management market. Titan, which is infused with $170 million from Ares, Maven, and Hambleton, is aiming to grow assets under management to a target of $42.34 billion over the next 5 years. News on AstraZeneca, ticker AZN. The company has cited a clarification from the European Medicines Agency from the COVID-19 task force that its COVID-19 vaccine has a favorable risk-benefit ratio for all age groups, especially patients over 60 years old. AstraZeneca's share price is up 0.19% in pre-market. More oil news on Exxon, Chevron, Shell, Total Energies, ConocoPhillips, and Eni. All of these companies are in a bidding battle for participation in the expansion of Qatar Petroleum's liquefied natural gas output, according to sources. The Middle Eastern country is aiming to boost its LNG production by 40% to 110 million tons per annum by 2026. Its state-owned producer, Qatar Petroleum, is trying to find partners who will share the financial risk of development and sell additional volumes of the LNG it will produce. In other news, cruise lines in Florida are struggling with the state over whether to require passengers to show proof of COVID-19 vaccinations, just as many of them are planning to relaunch ships from their top ports in the state for the summer. The CDC is requiring 98% of crew and 95% of passengers to be fully vaccinated to board a cruise vessel. But Florida has passed a law that's barring businesses from requiring proof of vaccination. So these two things are clashing, and there's been a struggle to figure out what to do. So that's definitely something to watch more when you're looking at cruise lines. And lastly, for me, one on Skillsoft. The company will begin trading today on New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol SKIL. One to check out. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Well, Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific sectors for industries and for events. Just lets me hop on and jump on the hot news of the day very quickly and ahead of any price movement. I start off with my FANG alert, and I see stories out there about the House lawmakers. They're proposing a raft of bipartisan legislation, which is really aimed at reining in the big tech companies. Inside some of these bills would require firms like Amazon and others to effectively split in two or shed their private label products. These bills were announced on Friday, and they really amount to the biggest congressional broadside yet on a handful of these tech companies. And the tech companies we're specifically referring to here are Apple, Google, Facebook, as well as Amazon. This is a big concern with them. Amazon, they're still dealing with fake reviews and inflated ratings, and there's still a continuing problem from Amazon. Facebook, there's a ruling due out in a case on Facebook regarding data protection, which could impact the way it does business in the other 27 EU countries. The European Court of Justice has rules that the Belgian regulator can pursue a court case against Facebook, whose European headquarters is actually in Ireland. So authorities across the bloc will be able to sanction companies in their own national courts. And Facebook has obviously argued against this procedure, but it looks like it is going to happen. I noticed Facebook also acquired a company, Big Box VR. It's a virtual reality video game studio based out of Seattle. Tesla, Musk is saying that he's going to be resuming accepting Bitcoins once they can confirm that they're using clean energy. Google, they're unveiling an option for small businesses to upgrade their Google accounts for greater calendaring, video chat, email, newsletter type functionality, which I find is a good move for Google. In terms of my Dow Jones 30 alert, Boeing, they offloaded, unclaimed 737 MAX jets last week as travel really is starting to strengthen. Johnson & Johnson, the FDA asked Johnson & Johnson, ticker JNJ, to discard about 60 million COVID-19 vaccine doses due to potential contamination charges. On the other hand, Germany's health minister said the company must deliver 6.5 million COVID-19 vaccine doses in July to make up for the expected shortfall in June. So we'll see what Johnson & Johnson does on this news. JP Morgan, ticker JPM. You got to look at these regulators. They're telling banks to stop using the LIBOR rate. The LIBOR rate is often used in option pricing because it's one of the 5 factors that make up an option price, and the LIBOR is really the interest rate that is most commonly widely used, but it can be manipulated and was manipulated, which is why, the regulators are telling the banks to stop using them, and they want them to stop using them next month. Microsoft, ticker MSFT, Michael, Sam, Frank, Tom, the company said on Sunday, that they showcased 30 upcoming games and said most of the titles will be available on monthly subscriptions to Xbox Game Pass. In terms of option headlines, I'm seeing some interesting option volume in Coupa Software, that's ticker COUP, Charlie, outside, under Paul. After earnings last week, the stock really did sell off, but call buyers seem to be scooping up shares on the cheap. The June 21, 245 calls are the most active options, and they're trading 2 times their normal rate. Humana, ticker HUM, Happy Uncle Mary. Humana's 30-day option implied volatility is at 20 compared to its 52-week range of 21 to 44. Now remember, they're having their biannual investor day on tomorrow, so it's interesting that their vols are very weak going into their investor day. Events going on today. We also at 9 a.m. Rocket Pharmaceuticals, that's ticker RCKT, Richard, Charlie, Kilo, Tom. They're having their shareholders meeting today. Blue Apron, 10 o'clock a.m. shareholders meeting. That's ticker APRN, Apple, Paul, Richard, Nancy. At 12 p.m. Eastern Time, Activision, that's ticker ATVI, Apple, Tom, Victor, India. That's when their shareholders meeting starts. Also at 12, Fubo TV. Their annual shareholders meeting starting at 12 noon as well. And rounding out the day of events, 1 p.m., General Motors, ticker GM, Grace Mary, annual shareholders meeting is today. In terms of guidance, ticker CLB. This is Core Laboratories, Charlie, Larry, Boy. They were downgraded to sell by Citibank because Citibank opened up a negative catalyst watch on the stock today. So keep an eye on weakness in ticker CLB today in the soon future.
Well, moving into our Trade Talk picks for today, I'm picking RDS-B. Now, this is a Class B stock, but this is Royal Dutch Shell. Company's got a lot going on right now. It's in a bidding war to take part in the Qatar liquefied natural gas production, and it's also possibly selling a massive amount of its U.S. oil field. I mean, it's the biggest oil field in the U.S. It's just a lot behind that, a lot of money that'll come out of it. So that's one to look forward to. But I'm also looking at, if I had to pick a second pick, I'm also looking at Novavax, ticker NVAX. It's up about 8% in pre-market right now. But I mean, if you really look at the last few days, honestly, last month that the stock's been moving, it's just been nothing but up. And today's been the hottest news it's had in a while, even considering the other days it's been on the rise, because, hey, it's showing that their vaccine works, you know? So I'd look at this one maybe at the open. Let's see if it can drop a little bit. You can see some weakness from the pre-market gains, but I got a feeling this one's going to run higher. So that's my second pick. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
I'm this morning, I'm looking at Lazy Boy. That's ticker LZB, Larry Zebra Boy. This is an earnings play. Earnings are coming out tomorrow afternoon. It's priced for a 9% move. I was reading over last quarter's earnings report, and supply chain disruptions really hurt their earnings last quarter. And management said, that they're expecting the Q4, which is this quarter, to be up 34 to 39%. So I'm looking for Lazy Boy to trade higher today. It might open up a little higher, move down, but I'm expecting to see some nice gains in Lazy Boy, ticker LZB today.
Moving into what's hot off the press, this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak that'll be moving the stocks today. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Bill, look at our newswire alerts. Which are the ones you think we should be letting traders know about?
RIDE, ticker RIDE, Richard India, David Edward, Lordstown Motors sinks 14.81% as the CEO and the CFO have resigned.
Lazy Days, ticker LAZY, is set to acquire Burlington RV Superstore.
NVIDIA, ticker NVDA, Nancy Victor, David Apple. They filed for a four-part bond offering for an undisclosed size.
Accenture, ticker ACN, has agreed to acquire Umlaut for undisclosed terms, and that's an engineering consulting and services firm. Rapt Therapeutics, ticker RAPT, has reported positive results from its trial for its dermatitis treatment.
That's all I'm seeing really here today, Shane.
Yeah, same here. So that'll do it for what's hot at the press. But traders, keep in mind that you can receive the same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Friday. I had Novon, ticker NOVN, which opened at $14.36. But we did say try to get in a little bit lower, since the pre-market was high. Unfortunately, that price drop, it did come. So, fortunately, however, it was very quickly. So the price drop came and went very quickly from the open. It dropped down to about $13.90. And following that, the price jumped up to as high as $18.24, only just an hour later. So if traders were trading quickly and paying attention, they could have made as much as a 31.22% gain. The share price gradually slid down. It definitely stayed higher for a while, but towards the end of the day at the close, it traded down to $14.68. So still higher than it opened, and a lot of time to trade it to get several points higher. The price is actually still moving higher, and so today it's blowing up again. It's $16 in pre-market. So just a good pick all around, a really good move for us. If I was a trading fund, I'd have to be closed for the year after this one. So went well for us. How'd yours end up doing, Bill?
I did Tesla on Friday. Stock opened up at $610.23, hit a high of $612.56 for a nice little gain there. It closed at $609.89. You look at it this morning, the stock is up again. But yeah, it made money. It sold off a little bit after the open, but it rallied right back, and it eclipsed the opening price by over $2. So that was a nice move.
Nice picks all around. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.